Hello, everyone. I am Aaron St. Denis at FF Mad Scientist. That is Jesse Moeller at JMoeller05. You know what helps? When I point to you and I do it above camera angle instead of down here where you can't see. That's Jesse Moeller. You can't see who I'm pointing to. Anyways, welcome to the fantasy football universe. So I was prepping, when we started this series, I was prepping our intro there, and my kid came in and he said, "Dad, why were you playing so much WWE 2K today?" I said, "What the hell are you talking about? I kept hearing the WWE 2K intro all day." I'm like, what? Apparently, the website I went to where you can subscribe to license their intro musics for free, the one I chose apparently is also on WWE 2K.
That's hilarious.
Playing 2K all day. I'm like, I wasn't playing wrestling. I'm like, no. I'm working playing wrestling. Yeah. So he thought I was playing WWE 2K because apparently the track that I licensed for our intro is also on WWE. So that's kind of cool because I love me some wrestling. But welcome, everyone. We are here for today's 2024 Rookie Sneak Peek. We have Odunze, wide receiver out of Washington. And I was thinking about it as we just finished Malik Neighbors, and you said you had him closer to the top group, and I had him more set in second tier. And then I was thinking to myself, I think I'm subconsciously biased against him because he played against Michigan. And as a dude from Twitter.
I mean, there's some flags, but he's awesome.
If you say anything negative about him, don't put it on Twitter. His dad will hunt you on Twitter. It's the wildest thing I've ever seen, man.
Awesome. It's so funny. There's been like multiple people I know getting into arguments with him. I'm like, just leave the man alone. You know what you're getting into. Like, it's just chaos. Don't antagonize that guy. It's gonna be trouble.
It was so funny. So, all right, well, let's get right into it. Like I said, welcome to the sneak peek for Odunze, wide receiver out of Washington. He is from Las Vegas, Nevada, and was a 4-star recruit out of Bishop Gorman High School. During his freshman year, Rome played in only 4 games and made 6 catches for 72 yards. That's a damn good YPC. The 4 games was his maximum to be redshirted and preserved his year of eligibility. Oh, if you're wondering where I'm reading this, head over to where I'm reading it from, head over to fantasyfootballuniverse.com. I am kind of working in conjunction here with Jesse's written review of the sneak peek of Odunze, which will be out on the 21st, which should be today if you're watching this, because this is scheduled to release in conjunction with that. Getting back to him. During his first year as a redshirt freshman, he demonstrated some potential that made him a highly touted prospect. He recorded 41 catches for 415 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns. So again, you're seeing a pretty damn solid YPC. In 2022, I can't say that name. Kalen DeBoer. I can't say. There's a hockey coach. He was on the Sharks. For some reason, that word doesn't come out of my mouth.
Dude, it sounds like a hockey name. It literally does.
Like, it is. Pete I can't say it. Pete DeBoer.
Yeah, it's just like, that guy plays hockey for sure.
Anyways, that dude took over the program in Washington, and it greatly benefited Odunze. He managed to double his totals from the previous year, finished with 72 receptions, 1,145 yards, and 7 touchdowns. As a redshirt junior, he raised his game to a different level. He led all of college football in receiving yards with 1,640 and 92 receptions, on 92 receptions, scoring 13 touchdowns. He was on fire, led them all the way to the CFP championship where they lost to Michigan, and then we had to listen to his father trolling Twitter for the entire week. Some of his measurables, he's a big dude, 6'3", 215. His height is 79th percentile. His weight is listed as, that's got to be 81st percentile. 81st, I have it as 8th.
I'm looking at it right now. I was like, oh, man, he's tiny.
He is tiny. He's 8th percentile, so that would be 81st percentile. I'll correct the spelling error there. Yeah. 21.7 years old, redshirt junior. So that was a mouthful to take in there. What did you think of him?
So like he's not the guy you would expect to jump out of the class, right? Because he had the redshirt season where it was disappointing. In that season where he had 415 yards, he did lead the Huskies in receiving, which tells you how bad that offense was. So this was 2 years ago. And then DeBoer came in and took over, and that offense blossomed under Penix. And Odunze was the biggest beneficiary. Like, you watch him from his freshman to his, redshirt junior year. Like, he's a different player. He's really good. He's made the changes to his game where he's just so smooth. And I think that's the thing that I continually come back to is the fluidity of running routes. And like, he separates, but he's a long strider. So it's kind of like, it lulls you to sleep, but you realize he's got like a yard or two when he catches the ball every time. So it might not jump out at you with his speed, even though he is fast. But it's just how smooth he is as an operator. So similar to like, I've seen people say Chris Olave. It's a really good comp. He's just a bigger Chris Olave.
Yeah.
So like, you watch him, and that's kind of what comes to mind.
I love the big guys. Are you in editing it right now? I went to update that and it says you're editing. So I was going to change it so it's not 8th percentile.
I fixed it, yeah.
Can you bold the redshirt junior? I guess.
Yeah, I'll bold that.
OCD kicks right in. All right, let's get back into his scouting report here. Some of his strengths you have listed on the article at fantasyfootballuniverse.com. Ideal prototypical NFL combination of size and speed. That was the thing I liked most. He's got that dude profile to him. He looks like a guy. Smooth operator. Has a rare ability to navigate breaks while running routes, making him a joy to watch. Displays excellent body control and is extremely fluid, which allows him to play all over the field. He is pro-ready. Love that. I love those guys that aren't going to – like, that's what I think my number one knock last year on Quentin Johnson was the talent and the intangibles are there, not pro-ready. Like, this guy's going to need some coaching up. But having a larger wingspan than most wide receivers makes him a valuable asset for his quarterbacks, especially the inaccurate ones, which is a lot of them. Exceptional ball tracking skills and lightning fast reflexes enabled him to catch a football at the last minute. Odunze is a top-notch athlete. He uses long strides to gain an advantage over defenders and pull away from them easily. So he is, like I said, like you wrote, we don't have the metrics in there. I don't anticipate him being one of the faster receivers in the class. His speed is not a deficit. It's kind of there. It's the size for him. He's a big dude with good abilities. He's a good separator, good explosion. What was your, most noted strength for him?
So it's a few of those things. It's like I said, fluid earlier. Like, that's like, you watch him run the routes, everything's smooth. It just comes easy. It makes the game look easy, as I guess is more like better way to put it. So when you watch him, he's like, man, I feel like every wide receiver should be able to do that, but they can't, because this guy's a really good prospect and he does things that a lot of guys can't, particularly at his size. So when you're fluid and you're big at 6'3", like, that's a lethal combination. That's just really hard to guard because you get the advantage on the smaller guys, and on the bigger guys, he can use his quickness to get an edge. So like, either way, he's kind of a mismatch. But overall, like, there's not a weaknesses in this game. There's just a lot of pluses. So like, this is why he's a projected top 10 pick and all of these things, because he does a lot of things that's going to fit well with the NFL. And no surprise, the NFL absolutely loves this guy.
There are, like you said, we'll get into the weaknesses. You did note a few of them. While displaying high-end ability in and out of breaks, there are some inconsistencies in his game that need to be resolved to make him a true elite receiver. Needs to improve his ability to break free from press coverage from time to time, as big physical corners have given him issues. Odunze's size and speed are impressive, but his lack of yak is surprising. He's kind of like the anti-Quentin Johnston. Johnston was just all yak. This guy, he seems to be who was it? Was it Ayuk? I'm trying to think. There was a receiver who was known for just catching the ball and falling down.
Well, Olave had like.
It was Garrett Wilson as a rookie.
Yeah, it's like Olave had really, really bad yak.
Oh no, you're right. It was Olave coming out of Ohio State. That was a good comp. You said Olave earlier. That's what it was. In Ohio State, I remember that going. Oh, but he gets no yak, which he worked out in the NFL. I said NHL. NFL. He does that a little bit more now, but you're right. Olave, it was catch the ball, fall down, catch the ball, fall down. And Odunze has a little bit of that. He'd be an excellent addition to Wilson, especially with Rodgers as his quarterback. And I guess that'll transition us into where we expect him to go. You have him expected as top 15 overall. Our ideal spot is the Jets. I agree. I like that one. I also said that for Malik Neighbors, but I think we're going to see a ton of offense go early. Like, if you look at the first 10 picks, you have a loaded wide receiver class and 10 teams to start the draft that need a receiver. So I think we'll see like 2 or 3 quarterbacks and like 3 or 4 receivers in the first 10. Once you get to 11, That's where I don't think you need the receivers anymore. You've got like Minnesota, Denver, New Orleans, Seattle, Jacksonville, like Cincy. So any of the receivers who don't go in the top 10, they could be waiting another 15 picks till the end of the first round if they don't get in that first 10 there. Because from 11 to like 26, ugh. Basically, if you need a receiver, you're in the top 10. Every team that needs a receiver, if you don't go top 10 this class, you may wait until the end of the second or end of the first round, beginning of the second, because like after the Jets at 10, maybe the Raiders at 13 or Colts at 15, but like aside from that, you're going all the way down to KC at 28, Arizona at 27.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a front loaded. The top 10 needs the receivers. So you have him at top 15, 10th, because you have the Jets. So what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think that's like the perfect situation of him falling into a team that needs it and has a high draft capital. So like that one made the most sense to me. But yeah, like you could theoretically, and like you get into the teams, you could have a team where like say it's Denver, they end up moving on from Judy, and then that spot opens, right? Or they could go with something like that nature. But yeah, you want the glaring need, and the glaring need is the Jets. Their wide receiver room is awful. Like I looked at their room and I was like, it's Garrett Wilson and nobody. So yeah, like they desperately need one. So they're either gonna take like a tackle, which they desperately need, or a wide receiver. And if they take a wide receiver, like I think Odunze is the perfect guy to pair with Garrett Wilson. Those two would just be a nightmare for defenses.
The consensus mocks on Mock Draft Database have him going 9 to the Bears with their second pick after them taking Caleb Williams 1 overall. That's interesting. I like him being paired with Caleb. I cannot see why the Bears don't trade out of this pick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like they're probably if they do that, then they got to trade Fields, right? So like they're trading one of those. Personally, I would go with the 101 just because we've seen Fields for 43 years, and it's just still not there yet. So I would re-roll the dice with Caleb Williams, then trade Fields.
Personally. Yeah, the consensus has Harrison at 4 to the Cards, Neighbors to 6 at the Giants at 6, and Odunze at 9 to the Bears. So out of Harrison to the Cardinals, Neighbors to the Giants, Odunze to the Bears with Williams, Marvin Harrison's the easy one there, I think. Yeah, I take Odunze over Neighbors in that situation, don't you?
Yeah, I mean you could. Like it's I don't know if he's gonna be good enough where he takes over immediately like for DJ Moore, but he could be the 1A, like the number 2 to the 1, and they could really just dominate targets in that offense. So I wouldn't worry too much about it.
And then after those 3, it's all the way down to Keon Coleman goes 15 to the Colts, and looks like we're going a while. So yeah, like I said, if you don't go in the top 10, they have Keon Coleman who sneaks into the teens, but then the next one is we have Adonai Mitchell at 28 to the Chiefs, Brian Thomas Jr. to the Bills at 29, and that's it for the first round. So you got to go top 10 here, or you're going to be waiting a while. I think actually, for me, Keon Coleman, I think, sneaks into the top 10 here. If Odunze goes to the Bears, I could see the Jets taking Coleman at 10.
Man, that's a risky pick, taking Coleman 10. But hey, if you like your guy, go get your guy.
I mean, taking Coleman at 15 is just as risky. But
I do too, yeah. I'm with you.
They're trading Fields and going with Caleb Williams. Maybe they're just going to fucking roll the dice and go for it. So
yeah.
All right, well, that concludes the rookie sneak peek of Rome Odunze, wide receiver out of Washington. Check back tomorrow for our next profile. Like I said, if you want the written form of it, head over to fantasyfootballuniverse.com. Thank you all for tuning in. Take care and have a great day.